Today we are going to talk about microfiber, but more importantly, why I don't repurpose my microfiber. I see this question a lot in Facebook groups. People will have stashes and stashes of microfiber and they won't be using them anymore because they don't work for their kid, they have too much compression, people just don't like stuffing pockets, and they don't like the feel of microfiber. And so they wonder, well, what else could I do with this? I don't do anything with it. I actually just stash it because sometimes I like to show you guys microfiber, or sometimes I just chuck it. Where possible, I really do try to order cloth diapers without their microfiber insert, so if there's the option to buy it without microfiber, always that is my first go-to. I just in general don't like the feeling of this textile on my hands, and I also don't like stuffing pockets. So microfiber is a synthetic. It's made out of a polyester blend typically, and polyester is made out of petrochemicals and water and some other processes. So this is 100% synthetic. It has nothing natural about it. It's essentially a soft plastic type thing. And the reason that microfiber is really popular is because microfiber is light. It also absorbs a ton. It's super, super thirsty, but not all microfiber is the same, so the absorbency of all of these varies. There's definitely a difference between high-end microfiber and cheap microfiber. It's much denser, fluffier, and in my opinion performs a lot better, at least from what I have seen. That said, microfiber has a dirty little secret. Not only is it made from petrochemicals, which not awesome, it also contributes to microplastic pollution, and that is why I don't reuse my microfiber. I don't want to contribute more microplastics than I have to. Microfiber, when you wash it, it begins to shed. That's why older microfiber looks less fluffy than, say, brand new microfiber. It's why after about 2 years, a lot of people have noticed their microfiber doesn't hold up as well, doesn't last as long, and why it needs to be replaced. All textiles shed in the washing machine. Bamboo sheds, cotton sheds, hemp sheds, microfiber sheds, and fleece also sheds. So a lot of things shed in the wash. And shedding is not a problem if it's made from organic fiber, and that organic fiber will break down naturally in the environment. But when a microfiber sheds, it forms microplastics, and microplastics are anything less than 5 millimeters in diameter, and it's not a lot. Honestly, when you look at the research, it's not a lot. It's very, very small. The number is so small I don't even know how to tell you how small it is, but it's so small. But the thing is that if you, if we all do it, that small number becomes increasingly larger. And it becomes a problem, which is where we're at today, is it's becoming a problem. And the problem that it has for the environment is that it increases the toxicity of microorganisms. So tiny little things eat the microplastic, or they absorb the microplastic into their body. And then bigger things eat it, and then bigger things, then bigger things, then bigger things. And because the fleece or the microfiber is a plastic, that can lead to other issues. So one of the concerning things is that other synthetics attract other synthetics. So plastics can attract lingering PCBs or PAHs, which we learned about in our harmful chemicals in disposable diaper video, which you can check out, which is probably on this side. It can also just increase toxicity because you really shouldn't have plastical particles in your body, no matter how big or small you are, and that can lead to just general health breakdowns. In general, we honestly don't really know the health impact on animals. It might be increasing their endocrine systems, their ability to reproduce, it might be impacting their sense of smell, it might be impacting their risk of cancers, it might be impacting all sorts of things. In general, the science community believes that microplastics do impact the overall health of our ecosystem. And we need to take steps to reduce our microplastic waste. And so the one way that I take a step to reduce my microplastic waste is that I don't repurpose microfiber. I just keep these on the shelf, mostly for display, but instead they might actually be better off in a landfill. And where possible, I try not to even order the microfiber insert. There are ways that you can combat your microfiber pollution. The first one is to just not use microfiber or even microfleece. So actually when I read online is that fleece, polar fleece, or any fleece actually is the bigger culprit. It releases more fibers, which is interesting. Because a lot of diapers, including my favorite diapers, have a fleece liner. So I'm a little bit concerned about that because I didn't really realize that it also applied to fleece. But hey, now we all know. So you can avoid buying it. That's step one. And then step two is you can opt out of not using it. So maybe you don't use these as much, or you just don't use your microfiber. You can also just reduce other synthetics in your lifestyle. Maybe microfiber works really well for you, and that just means that next time you go buy something, you think about, if you're debating between a synthetic version and a natural version, that you choose the natural version. Sometimes it's about making other changes in our life to kind of help the bigger picture. If you are just starting out cloth diapering today and you are concerned about microfiber pollution, microplastic pollution, you can choose to invest in a natural fiber insert, a natural fiber cloth diaper system. Pockets are probably going to be out of the picture because most pockets are lined with polyester, but you could look for athletic weighting jersey lined pockets. You can look for inserts that are 100% natural fiber without any stay dry layer. And if your child needs stay dry experience, there are other options like silk liners, which are more expensive, delicate, have to be hand washed, and a little bit of a pain. If that's important to you, maybe that's the route you take. Or maybe you also wean yourself off. My child only needed stay dry liners for a small period of time in his life. He didn't need it his entire experience, just when he was like a colicky little baby. The other thing that you can do to reduce your microplastic impact is you can just start talking to your friends and families about it. Maybe reducing it is not right for you, but maybe next time you meet a friend and you're chatting with a friend, you can bring it up in conversation. You can be like, next time I cloth diaper, I think I'm going to not use microfibers, because they shed and create microplastic pollution. I think I would go with natural fibers next time. Or you could just let somebody know. That's one way that we can change the world. Is right now microfiber is a norm, and I think it is being phased out. In general, there's a lot of displeasure with this material. But if we keep talking about the risks that are associated with different products with other consumers and other friends and families, it leads an opportunity to change the industry a little bit, because knowledge is power. And nobody else is really talking about microplastic pollution. I mean, there is a little bit different opinions in the industry, but for the most part, it happens. It is on such a small scale, but small scales add up when you're talking about millions of people. And the last thing that you could do is you could get a catch-all ball or a catch-all system. So there's the Guppy Friend Bag or the Cora Ball. And these two things, they capture microplastics. I've actually ordered the Cora Ball. I ordered it from Unicorn Baby here in Canada. It is expensive, but I'm curious to see how it works. Some people on my Facebook feed said they felt like it didn't catch a lot, but if you look at the research, it's actually, there's not a lot to catch. So what you're doing is you're just trying to limit any and all. So 2/3 of the fiber pollution is actually going to be caught by your dryer catch, and then only 1/3 of it is in the washing machine. So the Cora Ball and the Guppy Friend Bag, they catch very little, but that's because very little is going out. But very little, I know that very little, you can't see it. Oh, but it's there. I opted for the Cora Ball because you can just toss it in the wash. The Guppy Friend Bag, I didn't want to have to put my inserts in my diapers. Like, I washed so many synthetics that the Guppy Friend Bag didn't really seem like the best choice for me. The other one that I see a lot of conversation in the industry is this push to make washing machine companies sell their washing machines with filters and traps on them so that they can catch this microplastic. And that's another area that we can work on and that consumers can ask for and demand. Microplastic pollution is something that it's happening. It's super small. It's something we can't see. but it's something that we can work on changing, and that's why I don't use my microfiber inserts. I don't repurpose them around the home, and I just toss them in my bins, and sometimes I just toss them in the garbage. And I know that sounds really wasteful, but the toxicity of our ocean ways is more important to me. If you have any thoughts, comments, more information to share on this topic, or maybe you think it's complete BS, leave a comment down below. I love hearing all the different opinions and perspectives out there in the world. It really does make everything better, I think. It doesn't make everything better, but it helps understand what everyone's going through. So, something to think about today.